Okay, let's move on. Next is Oregon State, 7-6 a year ago, 5-4 in conference. Jonathan Smith entering his fifth season at Oregon State. Their over/under set at 5.5 or 6.5, depending where you look. Um, Sneaky good team. Top 20 offense last year, according to some models. Chance Nolan was the quarterback last year because Tristan Gebbia kind of got hurt. They're both back, so they have options now. They did miss out on JT Daniels. They were going hard after him, so it does make you wonder if maybe they're not quite as confident in their quarterback room as maybe some people are. But I do think that Chance Nolan, Tristan Gebbia are solid options at the worst. The name I'm hearing this summer is Damian Martinez, a true freshman running back. They love him. He's probably going to be the day one starter. Yeah, and it's Oregon State. Like, if you have someone that turns out to be a stud from day one, you can start at a place like Oregon State as a true freshman, and I expect that to happen. That sounded like a blow. Like, that was not supposed to sound so negative. I'm sorry, Oregon State fans. Damian Martinez is going to be a stud. Just focus on the positive. Really good offensive line, by the way. Like, they actually have one of the better offensive line coaches in the country. Have a good offensive line. The defense is where the question marks are. This is your classic good offense, questionable defense team. The defensive line is the major weakness of the defense. They return most of their back eight. The secondary is the strength of their defense. Kind of a basic good offense, bad defense team, where it really comes down to if their defense is average, they could be pretty good. Fair enough? What do you think?
Dude, I don't know. Jonathan Smith, I like people go back and there's people that love him. There's people that are not a fan at all. The whole JT thing, like, I'm a JT fan, JT stan, I guess we can say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a like, yeah, would have been much more excited had they got him. That sounds terrible again. So no, I'm not sure. This is another program I'm not sure about.
Sure.
Like you say you can get 5.5. I'm just seeing 6.5. I'm only looking at that is DraftKings. Can you get 5.5 on that number?
Let me double check. When I checked these numbers yesterday, I found 5.5.
Okay, right on. Like, okay, so
yes,
like,
I still have a 5.5 available, I believe.
Okay, so they have a hard schedule. Like, we're not going to just gloss over the fact that they're opening with Boise State. At Fresno State is no joke. Going to Fresno State is not a joke.
You're right.
You play USC, Oregon. You're also going to play Washington and
at Utah. Mm-hmm.
At Utah. So that they're going to get bloodied in some of those games.
It's difficult. And by the way, like, their one FCS team that they play, Montana State, is not a bad team.
No, they're good. Yeah, they're good.
They have to go to Washington. Now, I will say, I like this team enough, and I'm kind of down on some of the other Pac-12 teams. For example, we'll get to some of them later, but I do think there are some pretty clear wins on this schedule.
Yeah,
I'm taking the over 5.5. Just get right to it. I just trust them enough on offense. Even if their defense is not awesome, like, even if it's not even quite average, if it's just a repeat of a year ago, I trust them to win probably 7 games, which would be over even the 6.5 number. So I realize the schedule's tough. I think they're very capable of beating basically everybody on this schedule except probably at Utah. That's a tall task, just because Utah is so good up front. And it's on the road. And then, like, they don't normally beat Oregon. I know you don't want to hear that, Oregon State fans, that you can't beat your rival. I'm not saying you can't. Most likely a loss, though. But the rest of their games, there's a lot that are tough, but I think all of them, like, they have a fighting chance at worst in the rest of their games.
Mm-hmm. This is a team that went 7-6 last year. Is that right?
That's right.
That's just what I pulled up. They were 7-6 last year.
Yes.
Which was their best year in a while. So you look at, like, they get to play Arizona State, Cal, Colorado, Washington State, Stanford, and Montana State. Like, that's 6 of them right there that you're feeling like those are wins. Like, we can win those games. And if you go 6-6 and get bowl eligible, like like, yeah, you're making your money. So like with the number at 5.5, I will go over. Moderate degree of confidence, maybe like on a scale of 1 to 10, more like a 3 or 4 in the confidence. So yeah, like a lot of tricky games, and we had those don't even like bring in the Boise or Fresno State games, which I mean those are winnable but tricky. So I feel fairly good about it, I guess. Like I'm not sold on Jonathan. Are you like you said, like this is one of your strongest bets of the year? You told me this before the show. Like tell me why. Like I want to get into this. Why?
It's the offense. I just trust Jonathan Smith to be good. It's the offensive line. They have good quarterbacks. Damian Martinez, if he's as good as everyone there says he is, you don't have to be all that good in the Pac-12, I don't think, to win 6 or 7 games.
Okay.
And for those keeping track at home, like we've made 6 total picks now between us, and all 6 were over. There's some unders coming. Just wait. Like there are unders to be had. There are some teams in the Pac-12 that can be got. Oregon State fans feel like they can actually compete for their division, if you will, even though that's not how it works this year. Like they feel like they have a fighting chance to even beat Oregon this year because Oregon has the first-year coach and all that. There's, like I said, like I would pick against them when they play Utah and Oregon and probably like USC.
Okay.
Other than that, is there any other game where they are actually for sure an underdog? Maybe at Washington. That's the only one that to me is a slam dunk underdog pick for Oregon State. I just feel really solid, like I trust them. Not to be awesome, but to be very good on offense and to put up a lot of points.
Okay.
What else do you need?
That's fair enough. We both agree that this is not overall. There's not much depth in the Pac-12. Like the bottom end of this conference is not good. Like we're just going to go ahead and say that. So yeah, you're right. There are some wins to be had. I mean, I don't think Washington State's going to be particularly tough. I think okay. We'll get into them in a bit, but yeah, I'm taking it. I don't feel as good about it as you do. Obviously, it's just still wanting to see maybe just a little bit more from Jonathan Smith, and they don't really have a star. Like it's hard for someone to latch on to a team on the West Coast that doesn't, like, they're kind of nameless, faceless guys a little bit. Like they win, like, yeah, no, they have a good team. They put up points, but they're not, maybe they don't get quite enough pub for me to be seeing them and get excited about it. Maybe that could be partially it for me. Because there's no, like the results have been there on the field. Like they like last year was the best year they've had in a while. And we should be excited about that. Like the trajectory is going up. So yeah, like I'm here for it. I'm here to watch. How about that?
By the way, like just a betting tip out there. Like if I was actually putting my own legit money on this bet, I would take the 6.5 number. On DraftKings, you can get that number at plus 115. So there's good value there. FanDuel has the 5.5 number, and the over there is at minus 145. So that's actually like fairly heavily juiced to the over at 5.5. Vegas thinks they're going to win 6 games. I think they're going to probably win 7, at least. At least. Hey, so if I was actually betting on this, I would take the 6.5 number and risk it, like because it's better value, in my opinion. But that's how confident I am. Like I feel fairly confident taking the over even on a 6.5 number.
Okay. I like it. I like the confidence there. Bet of the year from Vince.
One of my darlings. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.